Look, I should not be suggesting this because in every way it is a bad business move. But guys, Zeph is actually a treat. And if she's casting with Maynard, here, where is this? Where's Maynard's stream? I think it's just twitch.tv/Maynard. Maynard only has like a couple hundred viewers right now. I love both of these dudes, so I'm gonna spam the link in chat. I'm actually gonna tell you, if not both streams open for this series, go watch Maynard. Obviously come back afterwards because Maynard. But ladies and gentlemen, that being said, let's hop into game number 1 of this PvP. To the bottom left side of the map, we have the red Protoss. On Clan Clown, it is Parting. And his opponent to the top right, pretty good at PvP actually. We have the orange Protoss, Rotterdam. But you guys are hashtag blessed. You got me covering this. You got Maynard and Zeph apparently covering this. You got Roddy and Parting who are both streaming their first person point of views. There's a lot of ways to cover and angle this match, but I hope you enjoy watching it through my stream. That being said, get over on Maynard's. Thank you for the 67 months for Geltis. It's impressive how many not marine skins I've seen out in the wild. Really? I guess that makes sense because y'all are addicts playing the game, but that's awesome, dude. I love the way that thing turned out, but I got to turn off display capture. So you see Maynard's face for a second there. There we go, as we tab back into the game, because I realized having his stream open in the background might cause some frame issues. At any rate, guys, we are going to be witnessing... Parting's the favorite player here. There's no question about it, right? Parting goes toe-to-toe, takes out players like Trap, and his PvP is really good. He just has a good handle on the matchup. But PvP, I think, of all the mirror matchups, I think at the end of the day, I think 2 high-level TB tiers are always going to be my favorite. But PvP comes in short second because there's a lot of mind games that go on with PvP. And Parting's already including one of them here. Well, this is actually a full-blown proxy. But I was going to say, we cast a lot of PvPs this morning. One of the really great ones was Trap versus Estrella, which, by the way, oh my god, that's another recommendation to catch. But you can sometimes put out these fake pylons, set the precedent for game 2. You lay the groundwork for game 3. There's just a lot of really cool things and intricacies that go into PvP. God forbid I compliment any Protoss player out there, but I think PvP actually does take some of the biggest brain strategies to actually play this matchup. There is no just brute forcing it to win. So regrettably for Roddy, he's not scouted and he's open with adepts. I'm actually not a fan of adept openers in PvP, but that's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that later. For now, if these adepts get out and scout, they'll see one of 2 things. One, he'll get to the other base and there should be a 3rd pylon. Where's the 3rd pylon? Maybe he thinks there's a proxy, he goes back to look for it, but by then we already have immortals being pumped out. Oh, no way. Roddy, are you Spider-Man? Are you Spider Sense tingling? Yes, Roddy! Okay, Roddy finds the proxy. This is huge. But here's where this gets awkward. These adepts actually can't take a dogfight out in the middle of the map versus stalkers. They'll lose that fight. So he transfers away, and I think the best thing he could really do is threaten Parting with these adepts. You can always recall them back home. But back up his side of the map, I really like the Phoenix. I really like the Phoenix. This will be a good way to ward off the Warp Prism. It'll be a good way to lift up the Immortal. It's a good way to just use this to cancel out some of what Parting's doing. But the most important thing is Roddy has shield batteries down. Because what Parting's doing is not a little bit of harassment. What Roddy's doing, excuse me, what Parting's doing is pretty all in. So Roddy has to hold this and he has to hold it well, but right now he doesn't have the tools for it. Also, kind of wasting energy feels a little bit bad. That first shield battery is going to go down, but the Immortals popped out. There's another shield battery to fall back to if things get too sticky. Phoenix helping on the back line for this a little bit, but it's David versus Goliath. There's just so many stalkers here. But Roddy holds. This is huge. Roddy's going on even footing here, not losing too much. He actually has control on the other side of the map. Parting had to let this building finish to not let the adepts transfer in. So nothing can really walk out of the base to reinforce. Nothing can really go help, reinforce the front lines. Why are you guys casting the same match? Because we are. Deal with it. Have you heard the phrase tough titty wampus before? Because that's the only real answer I have for you here. But Roddy, he's done this in such a way. I really like the shield batteries, not just because he built shield batteries, but where he built the shield batteries. This is going to prevent units from really easily walking in. Anything that wants to commit to killing workers will have to go around the mineral lines and thus get stuck here back and committed. Something the Immortals can deal with, I think, pretty easily. The Phoenix are going for the counterattack on this one, and there's a couple of Stalkers at home, but realistically, I think the Phoenix could actually just lift and run. Yeah, just like one shot down 3 or 4 of these probes. He's gonna lose a Phoenix for this, regrettable, but also good focus fire out of parting. It's one base to one base. It's a situation where 3 workers killed doesn't seem like a lot, but it's actually a pretty big deal. Of Nasty's placed at an epic base trade TV musketeer. Nice, dude. Oh no, the force field on the ramp. He was trying to catch him off guard. He really wanted to get here before the force field hit. Roddy unfortunately miscalculated this attack, and between the warp prisms saving the stalkers and the zealots warped in, those immortals fall apart, and that got very scary for him. I guarantee you Roddy had a moment of like, oh crap, did I just lose the game? He didn't. Obviously he's still in this, but if his heartbeat's not beating faster now, I don't know what would make it beat faster. Party's contemplating taking a Nexus. Here's the pros and cons to this, right? This means he's no longer all in. He could actually just turn this into a soft contain, which is totally doable. You'll just sit at the bottom of the ramp, throw force fields down. Ideally here, never let Roddy leave his own base, but Roddy can leave his own base with the Phoenix. This doesn't have to be limited to just this ramp. However, what he has to do if he wants to push out of this, and what's risky to do, is dive in on top of the sentries. Pick one up. Actually, only needs to kill one, frankly. Oh. Okay, he's running around the map with the Phoenix. I was gonna say, if he picks up the sentry and kills it, then there's no force field to keep him locked in the base, and they can push down and break all of this. Mortals are greater than stalkers, of course, at the end of the day. And even with zealots here, the Phoenix can just pick them up and kill them. I think, regrettably, the worst part about this for Roddy is Parting's just had vision of all of this. He knows exactly what's going on. The Observer's been sitting here the entire time, so there's no confusion as to what the composition looks like, how dedicated this is. That was a Phoenix to that blink. Nice. I think Parting's handling this very well. Roddy's done this very well too, but Parting's done it a little bit better. Now he does dive in to pick up the sentries as expected. He's going to grab a couple of stalkers to keep them in the back line, making sure those immortals can maybe get some kills out of this, but the Phoenix are of course dying as we speak. That blink back to the main base is awkward. What's going on here? Okay, so he recalls the rest of the stalkers out. The stalker does need to be dealt with. It's actually not enough to finish this off, so yeah, it just picks up with a Phoenix. Roddy's a big Phoenix player though. Just to be clear, this unit composition is Roddy's comfort zone. What's not so comfortable is the fact that he's going to be behind a Nexus by a pretty considerable margin. However, I think this is a tough call to fight, or this is a tough fight to call, excuse me as I stumble over my words. 7 Phoenix is a lot, and the Immortals are pretty good at busting stalkers. So as you can see here, even though Parting has a bigger number game, Roddy's got the more powerful army. And if any of these live through the Graviton Beam, they're just going to get killed. I learned something really interesting this morning about Graviton Beam, by the way. A fact that I never thought I'd be knowing or sharing. But apparently, one of the now lead designers in animation, I guess, for Riot Games, was the one who, I guess their biggest achievement, they had tweeted, because it was something like, what's your biggest achievement in gaming or something? And they said back in HOTS, when Phoenix originally used Graviton Beam, the units didn't have like an animation, like you see how they're flailing their limbs around. Supposedly this individual, she was responsible for adding the flailing limbs, giving more life to these units as they struggle in the sky to stay alive. I thought that was kind of cool because I just assumed it was something that happened, not something that an animator had gone out of their way to do type thing. It made me think there's just a lot of subtleties to this game I really appreciate, but I've never put 2 seconds of thought into. So I thought that was pretty cool to read about. But regrettably for Roddy, I think he's dead. I don't know if we're in super dead category, but I think he's dead. The stalkers have too much power, and it took him way too long to get out of the base. People are lulling over no warp gate, but I mean, I've actually seen Roddy play this style before. I've referred to it as kind of like a mechanic or a mech Protoss build. It's something that works too. I've witnessed it work. It's not working here, obviously, and the GGs finally get thrown down, but a hell of a game holding his own versus Parting. Yeah, the Kobe Bryant news was shocking to wake up to. I I'm not like a big sports fan, but a tragedy is a tragedy nonetheless. And what a surprise. But yeah, for those who haven't heard the news, Kobe Bryant and I guess like 4 or 5 others were like in a helicopter. I think like a private helicopter or something. And it crashed and burned. And that's fucked up. And that sucks. So my condolences for all those who are huge fans of said person. But again, I don't really know. I think he does basketball. I'm so bad. I don't follow. I really don't follow anything outside of Starcraft, guys. I'll be real with you. But in all seriousness, a tragedy is a tragedy, and rest in peace. But with less morose attitude, we hop into game number 2. Spawning here to the bottom right. He's up 1-0 at the moment. We have the Red Protoss.
Parting.
Just kind of clowning around. I love that tag. To the top left, we have the Orange Protoss.
Rotterdam.
I was going to remark another player on the bracket I was looking at earlier, but sadly couldn't cast his game because of his opponent. Don't want to get involved in that mess. We got TLO playing again tonight. I love seeing TLO. And hopefully we'll see him do well on the brackets. I am looking at his bracket right now, and I think it's totally possible for TLO to make the round of 8. So I'll be cheering for him a little bit. But yeah, you got Scarlet versus Mixu, Future versus Bly. There's just a lot of games going on here in the round of 16. Oh, Cham versus Polt. I wish we could have caught that one too. For those who don't know, Cham played versus Polt in the very first ESL Open Cup. Polt had gone to face off against Bly and, oh god, Namshar. He beat both of them, but then lost to Cham. So regrettably, while we're not casting that series, that's an interesting one to eyeball. As I mentioned, it's on the bracket there.
I like you.
Krugerson, 70 months? Damn, that's a big number. Thank you very much. Enjoy my lurking sub. I enjoy it greatly. Thank you, man. And Therm's gifting a sub out too. Thank you, Therm. Parting has set up for another proxy in this game, but this time it's not a robo, it's a gateway. This is an even more aggressive form of proxy that is not fun to deal with. Roddy's gonna have for a probe scout, and he's not gonna lucky scout the building like he did last game, but what he is gonna do at the very least is get across the map and hopefully scout. There's no second pylon or third pylon in the base. Sorry, I'm just so habitually used to saying second pylon. Liquid TLO has just placed an epic base. TLO, are you not playing? Are you not playing in a tournament right now? How are you placing the epic base train TV Musketeer on Stream Raiders battle? Oh, I actually got a tweet this morning when I tweeted that I wouldn't be able to cover the EU Cup. TLO's wife actually reached out to me and said, "You've ruined Dario's morning because now he can't play Stream Raiders." There's some weird part of me that just thinks it's super extra funny that of all people, TLO has been sucked into our shenanigans through this game. As the stalkers start moving down the middle of the map, of course, Parting's got that fast warp in attached to this, so it's almost like having a warp presence out in the middle of the map. It'll be very quick reinforcements, and this doesn't give him an inherent advantage, but what it does do is start negating Roddy's defender's advantage. High ground will always be very valuable here. He'll get the first shot against Parting, and oh wait, I didn't realize Roddy's going for Blink, but he's so far from getting it. If he can hold on for just a little bit here, Blink is going to be hugely advantageous against Parting, but it's a numbers game. There's no shield battery to fall back to. And it's difficult because there's one shield battery in the middle line. You would absolutely love to warp in a couple zealots here to kind of bully the stalkers, but once Blink's done, this is gonna be big for Roddy, guys. He's falling back to the shield battery. I don't think Parting realizes there is a shield battery. Wait, the gridlock on that! He has to be hugging the Nexus. Only one stalker can reach the shield battery at any given time. And oh no! Wow, this gets stolen. The Adepts warp in here. They're gonna kill probes on the back line. Roddy's gonna be so busy fighting on 2 separate fronts right now. He is dealing with the stalkers, but he's gonna stop the Adepts from getting too much damage done. Pulling the probes away makes a lot of sense right now. It sucks losing on that income, but he's gonna lose so many more probes otherwise. Parting tries to focus fire it down, but the shield battery keeps us alive. This shield battery, by the way, for Roddy was so good because he predicted this. This wasn't he put the shield battery down because Roddy's some noob. Like, people won't give Roddy enough credit. He's actually a really smart player. And oh man, the fact that he had that shield battery down completely denied Parting's attack. Parting with the stalkers was really like do or die with them. The Adepts were supposed to seal the deal on the back line. Now, Roddy has Blink, which again is a huge advantage versus a player without Blink. But he also doesn't have enough stalkers right now to just run in and win the game. So he holds, and he holds well, but he's behind a Nexus. So Roddy, whether he wants to or not, is all in. Because if he doesn't get enough damage done to these probes, partying will snowball beyond control. And I think between the force fields and the Guardian Shield, I don't think there's a fight he can take. He's looking for the proxy right now. This is unfortunate. Roddy's, regrettably, I hate using this phrase, but he's like wasting a lot of time looking for this proxy. He's got like almost 400 minerals banked up, but he's not going for an expansion. So he'll walk to the top of this ramp, blink away immediately. Is that a pylon he's placing down? That is a pylon he's placing down. So yeah, he knows. It's all in time. He just 2-0'd his matches. You need to see the replays. Do I though, Whiff? Because I know who he fought. I don't really want to give him any attention. But if you think the replays were that good, I could totally take a look at them. I love TLO, don't get me wrong. It's like, far be it from me to decline seeing TLO games, but I just have such strong feelings for not wanting to see who he played against. Does ESL release the replays now? I don't know how to answer that. I know that we're not allowed to on my side. So I don't know if they collect them and release them publicly or what the deal is with that. Trying so hard to micromanage this, but the money for partying is really starting to pile up at this point. There's a huge warp in down here from Roddy, but he's actually being chased all the way back to his base. What's he gonna do with the Zealots? Recall them? Catch the mutants in the middle of the map? He's got charge. Zealots are better than the Stalkers in pretty much every way, but he's not fighting with both sides of his army, and that's what I don't like about this. That Warp Prism's gonna help kind of act like a ghetto blink. And the Force Fields go down the front side. This is where the Zealots playing from the back side, though. That Immortal's doing so much damage, but it gets picked up and brought to the back. Stalkers now random firing. Wait a minute. I don't know if Roddy's winning this fight, but it's looking convincing that he might just hold this. But holding's not enough, because again, Party's got 37 probes and 2 bases. So Roddy has to crush this fight, which regrettably, I don't think he's going to do now. The Zealots made this look really good, but now he's at the top of the ramp. He's at the submission to a possible force field. So he goes in and targets it, trying to focus fire down the Immortal. Blink is better than no Immortals. I like that blink. I like that blink. I like it a lot. I want that cake. More Zealots warping in is really good. That Warp Prism needs to be dealt with. He blinks over to take care of this, but that means he has no escape plan. He knows it. GG. Roddy pauses on his way out of the game. Whoops.